working on this bike for about 8 hours now today. Came in. The problem was, it was carburetors work. I know because I rebuilt them and there was nothing wrong with them. After that, uh, I took it around the block after I rebuilt it. It worked fine for a few minutes and then started bogging down. Lost power. Felt like it felt like it was starving for fuel. So uh, I pulled out the gas tank and looked at the petcock. The petcock is this device over here. Let me go take you over. So this is the petcock. This piece right here. This hopefully this will auto focus. All right, so it goes. These two tubes go into your gas tank. You can see the hole right there where the gas tank is. Goes up, and when your gas tank is full, it uses all the gas goes in through this tube, and once it gets more towards empty, your petcock or this petcock has an on feature which allows you to use up to this much fuel. Like so, once the fuel level goes down to here, you'll pretty much die because there's no more fuel. So there's another switch called reserve. So you just turn the dial to reserve, and that would allow you to use up all your gas in your tank. So that's how that works. Nowadays, back in the day, I guess they used to have old ones where they only had an on-off switch. So you turn it on, and your fuel would always be on. So it'll constantly be feeding fuel to your carburetor, and that would fuel your car, or sorry, your bike. Nowadays, I guess, or at least not nowadays, but well, I guess you could still say nowadays. Nowadays, they're vacuum operated, so they have like a what's they have a piston. Actually, you can see the little hole right there. So there's a piston that goes up and down that allows you can see the right there. So this allows fuel to go into your tank or not. So there's a little piston that goes up and down. See where my finger is? Close, open. So little piston that opens up and moves in and out to allow fuel to go through. Now what this does is your carburetor doesn't, or your bike in general doesn't constantly need fuel, especially when you're at a stop. So back in the old days, when you were parked somewhere, you had to switch your bike to the off position so that fuel would stop going into your floats or what have you, and prevent it from causing damage. Now, newer bikes don't do that anymore. You have an on position, which they have that vacuum piston that opens and closes and pretty much does the work for you. There's still the off position just in case you need to store the bike for a long time, or if you think that you're not going to ride the bike for a long time, you can still do that. But generally, if you're just taking the bike out, or down the street, or to your buddies or whatever it is you're doing, it's okay to leave it on the on position because it would, that piston would close and no more fuel. So I was having the issue to where even when I had the position on, and even when the bike was off, the piston was open. So it was constantly leaking fuel. Actually, I found that was actually what caused my carburetors to break. It has to deal with pressure. The pressure in the tank was greater than the pressure in the floats, or greater than the float chamber. The pressure in the tank was greater than the pressure in the float chambers. So all that downward pressure going down and up actually broke the seals in the valve, causing lots of fuel to spew into my carburetors, which eventually caused more issues. So that had to be rebuilt. So very important to get this, keep this nice and working. So anyways, having issues where this was constantly staying open. Couldn't figure out why. I rebuilt this. I rebuilt the carburetor. I checked my fuel lines. Couldn't figure out what the hell. Why was this not working? And why was it constantly leaking fuel? I spent maybe about an hour going through the diagrams, making sure that I built this thing correctly, and I did. So I didn't do anything wrong. What I did not realize was that actually I found this out after I took it out the second time to see what the hell was going on. You can't see it here because my camera sucks, but inside there's lots of little deposits of dirt and rust. Now, how that got there is the bike had been sitting for a long time, and there's a vent on top of the fuel tank that I guess allows pressure or whatever, or maybe it was just broken, but water got into the tank. Water got to the bottom of the tank and just rusted out the bottom. So you can normally these little screens here, I don't know if you can see them, they act as little kind of filters. So that would normally prevent shards of rust or dirt to get into your tank, but these are screwed up. They're torn. So when the fuel was going down, it took all the crap with it, thus getting into this little area right here, preventing the piston from fully closing. So it was constantly leaking, and it also made it difficult for it to open. So when I was riding the bike, it was okay during idle because it didn't need much fuel, but when I tried to give it gas, it was starving for fuel, and it would jump like, you know. So yeah, the rust was getting into here, and it caused it to get stuck. So that's how I found out that I need to clean out my gas tank. So now what I'm going to do is take this vinegar right here. That's apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put this petcock back on. Maybe, well, I don't know if I should clean it out yet. I'll probably put it in temporarily just so that it will seal. And put the vinegar in there, let it soak for about an hour. Strain the rust and dirt and crap that comes out of it. Put the vinegar back into the bottle, and then soak it for another hour or so, and keep doing this until the gas tank is completely cleaned. This is by far one of the most challenging experiences I've ever had to do. Before I started, I had no idea how carburetor worked, no idea how fuel system worked in a motorcycle, but now I can confidently say, you know, if you gave me another bike and had fuel issues, I could probably point it out pretty easily, just by going through a few simple steps. So, anyways, that's my video. Really, I'm just sharing this with friends. I'm not really doing this for views. I just wanted to share my experience and my frustration. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it.